Hello.
Hi.
So we're here to talk about whether or not we joined a cult.
You saw all these buffed, tan dudes doing primal things. What was your first thought?
At first, we kind of thought it might be a cult.
What do we love? Freedom!
Some people feel that we may have joined a cult because of the recent trip to a BioCulture Retreat. And here we're going to tell you all about it so you can realize that no, we didn't join a cult. But we did have an amazing experience, and we want to share the highlights and the ways that we think these types of retreats, and this one in particular, could help other people.
I'm going to share my biggest highlight, which was I went there still having a lot of trauma, or our situation that we went through at Jackson. And I was having a really hard time getting through the story of Jackson without welling up with tears and feeling the pit in my stomach. I was, I could revisualize and rehash every moment of that week with precision detail. And I was able to let go of a lot of that trauma while we were at this retreat. And we'll get in a little bit deeper as to how we did that. So that was really my biggest highlight, was coming back feeling lighter and without the trauma.
Want me to share?
Yeah.
Okay. For me, it was an opportunity to revert back to childlike feelings, meaning connection with my inner child, or the fun side of who I was.
You're always fun.
Sometimes.
No, always.
Sometimes. And also connecting on the spiritual side. A lot of what the bioculture pillars and their beliefs and how they live is very well connected to the earth and connected to the spirituality amongst people and amongst family, amongst friends. And that to me was a great opportunity to reconnect. My younger version of myself had gone down a different journey, and then I joined the military, went kind of this way through the Naval Academy. And that lifestyle is conducive to being right in a certain way of lifestyle, which is very different than being out not wearing shoes, grounding yourself constantly, eating raw and grass-fed beef, communicating and talking about things like feelings or emotions and energy and all of those things. And I think that was a way to help recharge some of my own batteries, as well as a little bit of healing for sure, in line with what Haley mentioned.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about a day in the life at BioCulture. Coffee started at 7. So if you're a morning coffee person, you wanted to fill your cup. 7 to 8 o'clock was coffee. And then for those people that wanted to break their fast early, there were always snacks like eggs and some other stuff available.
Raw eggs.
Cooked eggs.
Oh, they were cooked eggs?
They were cooked eggs every morning, scrambled.
And just make sure you identify the coffee was BioCulture coffee, which is kind of like the bulletproof coffee that we've talked about, but they step it up with grass-fed
raw milk,
peanut butter, some cinnamon, I believe. It was really good coffee.
Yeah, it was tasty. And those mornings were time to sort of just catch up with people and sit around and chit-chat before going into a meditation. And then from the meditation, we would go into breath work. And then from breath work, we had Touch Me Tim. I called him Touch Me Tim.
Extremely light, really good. Never noticed such a great feeling in this area of your body before.
Tim is amazing. Tim does touch healing, which I did. And I did a one-on-one with him, which was incredible. Part of my letting go of the trauma. And so we did that every morning. We would break for breakfast. And breakfast was, again, super, super clean. There were no seed oils, all grass-fed, pasture-raised meat and eggs at every meal. Some potatoes, there was some bacon, not as healthy, but still delicious. Always bone broth available at every meal for those people that wanted to pack on a little bit more protein, get more coffee, and huge bowls of fresh fruit, which was so good. So that was sort of like the morning at BioCulture. And then there'd be an activity or some sort of workshop or a mastermind every day. Sometimes it was a fun, like a relay race, or we went on a beach hike, or we did some content creation. And then after that, we'd go into like an evening activity or dinner.
What Haley didn't mention is Sedona led most of the meditations along with Dakota, and her soundtracks were awesome. So she made them either just sound meditations, quiet meditations, or even guided meditations. And that was really cool, especially if someone is not used to doing meditation. You get an opportunity to do it multiple times, sometimes multiple times a day, if not just at least setting the intention of whatever activity you're going to do, then going into either meditation or the activity. Doing the meditation each day was really amazing. Haley had mentioned the workshops. Cosmo Life was one of the sponsors, the main sponsor of this event we went to. You've probably seen us in a silly video.
On Instagram.
Yeah, looking like we're in bed, and I'm sticking a vibrating cup on her, which are really awesome. They have red light, heat, vibration.
Hey, baby.
Yeah?
You want to get my blood flowing?
Yeah. We should cup during this too. Activities that Haley mentioned, the going hiking with no shoes.
We do everything barefoot.
That was pretty cool.
I think the no shoe thing in general was really cool. We were grounding for 16 hours a day. We took our shoes off when we got there and never put them back on.
And the word that they use to describe your shoes are foot prisons.
Yeah.
So we keep the foot prisons off, and that was it was great. It was liberating, and this way you didn't have to worry about ever putting your shoes on. It reminded me of going down to the Bahamas and living the island life.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
The masterminding and the content creation, that was where I think we learned a lot from the people that were there, some of the creators like Nikki and Jack.
Yeah.
Christian, he's really good at that as well, and Sedona, and we got to be a part of some of their content creation, which inspired us to do some silly, some fun content creation as we learn how to live within the world of these amazing creators, these content creators in this nomadic lifestyle that they live. And for us, for me in particular, who currently still and loves running my own business, this was a break outside of the day-to-day to see how I can incorporate some of these modalities, and when it comes to social media and content creation, how we can incorporate that into what we're doing as a company. Even though we're a defense contractor, very different, it still were great lessons learned and opportunities to learn from people who are doing it every single day, and that was awesome.
Yeah, super cool.
And we mentioned the dinners.
Yeah, the dinners, again, all healthy, really delicious, grass-fed beef. Almost every meal had grass-fed beef.
Either grass-fed beef or being a bone broth as well, and both.
Yeah.
So it's always an opportunity for plenty of protein. And that BioCulture team understands the importance of protein throughout the day.
Grass-fed raw meat too.
And also incorporated vegetables and some really good carbs. The carbs that were there were some rice, a little bit of rice here and there, some corn tortillas, some really good stuff.
Oh, some really delicious corn tortillas, like homemade baked tortillas, which were really yummy.
And then the evening activities, let's go into specifically the ones we talked about here. You have...
So let's talk about the Temescal for a minute. So that's how we opened up the week at BioCulture, was the first night getting into a Temescal and setting your intention for the week, which was really beautiful. And my intention, I'll share, was about releasing the fears that have been holding me back.
So just to let everybody know what a Temescal is, if you imagine you've ever seen one of those adobe-looking domes, it comes from some Central and South American culture called a sweat lodge, I guess some people would call it. And you sit inside of this domed structure, and in the center there's a pit. And within the pit, you fill that pit up with super hot rocks that are sitting in a fire for hours. You bring the rocks in, and then the shaman or the person leading the Temescal will come in and they will help you set the intention that Haley had mentioned for the Temescal. And then they'll bring in the different elements: water, earth, fire, wind, I believe is the fourth. And then they'll bring in different things like sage or rosemary or different herbs. Herbs that either for healing or for release and spirituality, et cetera, all the good things. And it's pretty intense. You do 4 of those throughout a session. So they're about anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, and you do those 4 times. And we had a really cool person running it.
Yeah, he was great.
That was awesome. We got him to start working out.
Yeah.
And he's been working out since.
Yes. And you've held him accountable, which is great.
I started to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so the Temescal was super fun, Sedona led an ecstatic dance one night, which was also really beautiful and so outside your comfort zone, which is another thing we should talk about. Like that was really fun, just doing something and dancing in a way that's almost like animalistic and or sensual, however you want to do it, but doing it uncomfortably with other people that are just as uncomfortable.
I was really tired.
Yeah, so that was super fun that night. The sound healing and breath work, we did a night session like that as well. And again, just so at night they would turn off all of the lights and we only operated by red light.
Equivalent of
It is basically like a really great way for you to get your body ready for evening and ready for bed. Can't really see it because it's daytime.
We're adding
but
in the red light.
Key did this beautiful sound healing.
What is something that you want to bring in more in your life?
He is a Chinese medicine practitioner as well as a jack of all trades within he's just incredible individual, and he brings in the Chinese medicine, his understanding of sound healing, his understanding of breath work, all these different modalities. He brings it into a experience in which everyone in the group was able to go as deep as they possibly could and or were willing to go with your breath work and try to help with, again, setting that intention initially to either heal or bring out different things out of you that you may be holding in. And that was pretty wild. Each night, what they do is it's just a routine. There'll be a bonfire. You can go around and hang out, chill. It was Corey usually playing music at bonfire, or they're using a handpan.
Handpan.
Yeah, they use a handpan. That was a pretty cool instrument.
Like, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, it sounded
Yeah.
just like that too. That was fun.
Do we recommend a BioCulture Retreat? Yes. For anyone and everyone who just wants to connect more deeply with themselves, with others, with nature, with longevity practices, with healing, all of it,
Yes.
right?
Yes. People would look at it a lot, especially in older, around the sun a few more times. You may look at it and be like, oh, wow, there's all these young people and it's not really a good fit. Because we know that that was intimidating for certain people that we spoke to about it. And Haley as well a little bit. But ultimately, it gives you an opportunity to surround yourselves with like-minded people. And if you're like-minded people, meaning people who are looking towards living a better life. And that better life going back to not necessarily the materialistic things that are around us, but the sun, grounding with the earth, becoming more connected to the people that you're around, being more unique to yourself or authentic to yourself, and doing things within that whole experience to heighten it or to optimize it through breath work, through the meditation. And so it gives you an opportunity. No matter what your line of work is, no matter how old you are, there is a way to take significant advantage of that experience. And for us, when we came back, we were inspired by the experience and saying, hey, how can we bring this to people that, like you had mentioned, yourself and others, and I'm sure there was a part of me that was also feeling, is this a good fit? Because we're busy, we have a lot of work to do, we have kids that we love to spend time with, and is this a good use of our time? The long story short is absolutely, and in the long run, we see the benefits from it. So back to the question we asked ourselves is, how do we bring other people into it who may feel that same way? So what we decided was, we spoke to the team at BioCulture and said, hey, we'd love to co-host an event so we could bring in the people that may have felt like we did going into it, but actually let them experience it no matter what your line of work is. And if you're doing a 9 to 5 within the matrix, that's fine. If you're thinking about being nomadic in your creation or being a nomadic creator and traveling the world, that's great too. Or if you're in the middle or you just don't know, either way, if you believe in things like sunlight, eating healthy, exercise, sleep, and grounding and being spiritually connected to the world and also connected to yourself, and you want to continue to, I guess, advance that to live most optimally, this is absolutely for you.
Yeah. So with that, we will be co-hosting a November BioCulture Retreat. We've got plenty of time to think about it and plan for it. It will fill up quickly because there's not that many spots. So we did just want to put that out there and let you know that if you are interested, let us know, connect with us, and we would be happy to share more.
Yeah, we'd love to let you know what it's all about. We do have a select amount, and we will have to evaluate, is this a good fit for who and what, because there is different types of rooms, different types of the timeline. We know it may not work for everyone, so we're hoping that we get a good group, and then anyone else that can't fit in this one will be able to introduce you to the BioCulture team. There's
Maybe
other
there's a
events.
different one.
Yeah, and there are others with people that are also like us, a little bit older than some of the people that we were at our last retreat with. If that's where people feel more comfortable, or if they love the young vibe, rock and roll.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of different ones. There's yoga focused ones. There's healing focused ones. There's biohacking focused ones.
Yeah.
There's a whole host of BioCulture retreats, which we will share the link, and you'll see the one that we'll be co-hosting in November, and you'll see all the other ones throughout the year. And if you have any more question about those, if we know the people running them, great. If not, I'm sure you can ask all these questions of Dakota, and Sedona and Christian, and those that are being running the BioCulture events.
Yeah. So, all right. That's our recap. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.